How to compute for the monthly pension? Let's move on to this. What are the factors to consider? So there are three factors to consider. Number one is the number and amount of monthly contributions paid by the member. Second, credited years of service. And the last one, the number of dependent children, if any. Majority of those who will be retiring would be retirees. Ask us, kapag ako ba ay naghulog ng, let's say, 1992 hanggang 1999, and then I stopped for a decade, and then come 2010, I started paying again, and then I stopped ng 2016, and then resumed just recently. Is it okay na meron akong gap payments? Makakonsider pa rin ba yung hulog ko ng, let's say, 1992, the time that I began or started paying my SSS contributions? So, yes, no? Yes is the answer. So, lahat po ng hulog na nyo sa amin since time immemorial, since the first time that you have paid your contributions in SSS, kasama po yan in knowing or in calculating for your monthly pension. Lahat yan. Kahit may gap payment in between, it's okay. Ano po to? Cumulative, no? We really consider everything. Lahat po, no? Kahit may gap payment in between, kinakount po natin yung mga prior to those gap payments. So, all your contributions. Kaya nga, all your recorded contributions sa ating considered po yan. So, it's a lifetime commitment. It's your forever record with SSS. Kahit magkano pa po yung unang contribution nyo sa amin versus sa contribution nyo ngayon, all of those will be considered in computing for your monthly pension. So, yun po yung second. Wala po akong anak. Walang dependent children. So, wala na po itong third factor. But if you do have your dependent children, then it will also affect the amount of your monthly pension. How? So later, I'll be showing it in the next slides. But for now, let me show you this one. Very important for us to consider in computing for our monthly pension is the average monthly salary credit, or the AMSC, being shown on your screen right now. What is this? It is the sum of the last 60 monthly salary credits immediately preceding the semester of contingency divided by 60. So that's the AMSC. So this is a very important factor to consider for the computation of your monthly pension, the average monthly salary credit. Another important factor is the credited years of service, and we compute it as CYS is equal to A plus B plus C, where letter A is equal to the constant ang 1985 minus the calendar year of coverage. Letter B, number of years with at least 6 monthly contributions. This is also constant from 1985 to 2001. Constant. And letter C, total number of contributions paid beginning January 2002 up to the month prior to the semester of contingency divided by the constant 12. So these are constants as well. So, okay. So now what you will do is to apply this learning nyo. But another question, ma'am, paano yun? Sabi dito, 1985 minus the calendar year. Let's say ang aking coverage date ay 1974. Coverage date meaning ito yung time na nag-start ka mag-contribute kay SSS first time. So I can subtract 1985 minus 1974, right? Pero paano po yun? 1999 na ako nag-start magtrabaho. So, negative yun. 1985 minus 1999, that would give me a negative 14, right? So, paano po? Kung mas mataas ang year of coverage mo kay 1985, that's from, so let's say, that's from 1986 onwards, no, till the present time, so mawawala na yung letter A. Okay, so meaning to say, applicable lang si 1985, then sa meron siyang makukuhang sagot, no? So, lower than 1985. But if above 1985, ay hindi na po mawawala yung value nitong letter A. Zero na kaagad si letter A, and we will just add letter B plus letter C. Clear? Okay. So now we have this formula. Let me introduce you to this standard formula that we are using in SSS. So we have three. First is 300 plus 20% times AMSC plus 2% times AMSC times CYS minus 10. So that's the first formula. Second formula, 40% times AMSC. And the last one, this is the minimum, no, na standard natin. Minimum pension for if 10 CYS, 1,200 per month. If 20 CYS, 2,400 per month. But, syempre, kung ano po ang mas mataas or pinakamataas na monthly pension na may yield based on this three formula that we have presented, yun ang ating ibibigay na monthly pension sa ating mga miyembro. So, let's say, sa second formula, this yield the highest amount. So, wala na po yung first formula in this minimum pension. We will give itong second formula kasi it yielded the highest amount for the monthly pension. But let's say, mababa dito sa dalawa, sa first formula and second formula. Then we will give itong sa minimum pension if it is the highest among the three. Alright? So we compute the monthly pension based on this formula, and whichever of this will yield the highest amount of monthly pension, that is the amount that we give to our members who are filing for the retirement benefit. So on top of this three kasi will yield the basic monthly pension. So on top of this basic monthly pension, we also add the 1,000 additional benefit or the pension increase, and the 13th month pension every December, which is equivalent to a 1-month pension. Okay, so that's how we compute for the monthly pension, and that's what we give to our retiree pensioners. So let's have a sample computation, participants.
A member will file for his retirement claim benefit. He was born on August 16, 1951 and has been employed from August 1972. His date of separation from his last employer was April 2013. His average monthly salary credit amounts to 15,000.
So number one, we need to know the AMSC or the average monthly salary credit. In this case, participants, it's already given at 15,000 pesos. Now, kailangan naman natin malaman kailan siya nag-start or kailan siya naging covered ni SSS. So, sabi dito, he has been employed from August 1972. So, meaning to say, that is the start or coverage date. Ngayon, kailan naman siya na separate from employment? We also need to know. So, it states his date of separation was on April 2013. Another important thing to remember is what? The CYS. However, the CYS is not given here, so we have to compute for the CYS participants in this case. So how do we compute for the CYS? CYS is equal to A plus B plus C, right? So letter A is equal to 1985 minus the calendar year of coverage. So substituting the given, that will be 1985 minus, kailan yung coverage year? 1972. And that gave us 13 for letter A value. Letter B, sabi natin kanina, letter B is equal to the number of years with at least 6 monthly contributions from 1985 to 2001. Let's assume, participants, that from 1985 to 2001, since pasok siya dahil 1972 yung coverage, no? So may 1985 tayo dyan. Let's assume na from 1985 to 2001, merong at least 6 monthly contributions sa mga taon na yun. So what we would do is to count from 1985 to 2001. Dear participants, do not just subtract 1985 from 2001. Wag po tayo ganun mag-count, no? Don't just subtract. What we would do is to count it manually talaga.
So 1985, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 2000, 2001.
Ilan lahat yun? 17, right? Binilang natin sa ating fingers, no? So, 17 total. Kaya letter B is equal to 17. So, letter C, total number of contributions paid beginning January 2002 up to the month prior to the semester of contingency divided by 12. So let's assume again na per year since 2002 to 2012 ay meron siyang 12 monthly contributions per year. Okay, let's assume, no? Dahil para malaman natin yung month prior to the semester of contingency, I suggest that you do this table. So, tayo ay mag-quartering at semestering. Quarterings in SSS are fixed. So, we have January, February, March, first quarter. April, May, June, second quarter. July, August, September, third quarter. And October, November, December, fourth quarter. So, those are the fixed quarterings in SSS. To determine a semester, one semester is composed of the current quarter of contingency plus the preceding quarter of contingency. So, let's say, in this case, the member got separated from, or the employer, this member, no, got separated from his employer on April 2013. So, let's mark. April, kailan bang April? There, with the X mark. So, that's the month of contingency, kung kailan siya umalis sa kanyang employer. So, now, which quarter does April belong? So, siya ay nasa second quarter, right? April, May, June. That's the second quarter, fixed quarter in SSS, second quarter. So, to determine the semester of contingency, we have to consider the current quarter of contingency plus the preceding quarter, immediately preceding quarter, to identify one semester of contingency. In this case, the current quarter is April, May, June, plus the preceding quarter of January, February, March. Meaning to say, the semester of contingency will be from January 2013 up to June 2013. Now that we have identified the semester of contingency participants, sabi, letter C ay total number of contributions paid beginning January 2002 up to the month prior to the semester of contingency. So, ano ba yung month prior the semester of contingency? That is December, di ba? December 2012. So, kaya, yan ang ating naging factor considered here, no? For our identification of letter C. So now, from January 2002 up to December 2012, we have to count all those years na merong kung ilan ba yung contributions nila per year. So, sabi ko, assumption natin, 12 monthly contributions, no? Sa lahat ng taon. So, we have to count again manually. Let's count using our fingers.
2002, 03, 04, 05, 06, 07, 08, 09, 2010, 2011, 2012.
So, ilan yun? 11 ba ang na-count ninyo? Same with me? So, yes, no? 11. 11 years times 12 months each, right? So, that will give us 132 divided by the constant 12. Kaya po, ang letter C natin ay equal sa 11. Okay, hope. So, now to get the CYS participants, all we have to do is to add A, 13, plus B, 17, plus C, 11, and it gave us CYS of 41. So, that is how we identify, no, or we compute for the CYS. A plus B plus C. So, in this case, we got 41. And AMSC naman natin ay 15,000. We can now substitute everything. So, sabi natin, for our first formula, we have 300 constant plus 20% times AMSC of 15,000 plus 2% times AMSC of 15,000 times CYS of 41 minus 10. So, in this case, so what we will have is 12,600 pesos for our monthly pension using the first formula. Second formula is 40% times AMSC of 15,000. So, it gave us 6,000 pesos. So, that is the second formula. So, ang sabi din natin, ang minimum pension is 1,200 and 2,400. So, among the three, which one yield the highest amount for the basic monthly pension participants? That is using the first formula, which gave us 12,600 for the basic monthly pension. So this will be added pa ang pension increase ng 1,000 and 13th month every December. That is how much the retiree pensioner will be receiving kung ito yung kanyang mga factors in the computation for the monthly pension. So, sino ba ang considered natin na retiree or dependents pension rather? Those children of the retiree pensioner who is below 21 years old, legitimate man, legitimated, legally adopted, or illegitimate children, all of them are considered as dependents. Unmarried and not gainfully employed. So, these children below 21 years old, provided that they are not yet married or not yet gainfully employed. Because if they're married, doon na sila dependent sa kanilang spouse. If they're gainfully employed naman, either they have their SSS or GSIS already. So, they shouldn't be dependent already sa ating retiree. Pero kung sila ay unmarried pa and not gainfully employed, so they're still considered na dependents children as long as they're below 21 years old. Okay? Kasi kapag above 21 years old na sila, so hindi na sila considered dependents. Question, ma'am. My daughter or my son is 18 years old, but he or she is already married. Is he or she still considered a dependent? No. Kasi, sabi natin, kailangan unmarried. Okay, so kahit below 21 siya, but if he or she is married, so maalis na siya dito sa ating definition ng isang dependent. Okay? We also allow some children above 21 years old to still be considered a dependent and receive dependence pension if and only if siya ay congenitally or while still a minor has been permanently incapacitated and thus incapable of supporting himself or herself physically or mentally. So, yun lang po ang pinapayagan natin ng mga anak na over 21 years of age ay patuloy na makatanggap ng dependence pension under the care of our retiree pensioner. Okay? So, how much is a dependence pension? It's 10% of the monthly pension or 250 peso, whichever is higher.